Hey Sass Squad, welcome back in the video. Right now I'm going to share a pretty straightforward team that I've been running in the Halloween Cup. Without further ado, let's just jump into the battles. Alright, so in this very first set, we are actually leading regular Golbat, and in this one we do get an Azumarill lead, which is pretty solid. We're just going to start spamming Poison Fang and try to rack up a lot of damage. So yeah, definitely a really good lead for us. I'm going to actually shield the very first move. They generally are running Ice Beam for the Golbat, but yeah, we could probably take that, but I just really did not want to. And they bring in a Nidoqueen, and I'm just going to go for a straight Shadow Ball. They end up shielding, and I'm just going to stay in, and I think I go for another Shadow Ball. I do not shield, knowing that it's more than likely just a Poison Fang. Throw the Shadow Ball, and I think we switch into Umbreon just for a little bit of a farm down, because we know Ozlu's coming back in, and I am actually running Psychic Foul Play Umbreon in this format. I found that the Psychic was very helpful in a lot of matchups, and here we know we can at least take one play rough. So we're gonna let it go through. We're gonna save our shield. We don't really know exactly what is in the back line, and Psychic is still relatively good here. So now that we have the shield advantage, I'm just gonna bring in Nidoqueen, let my Umbreon die to the Azu, and they end up having a lone Marowak here in the back line. Knowing that this was going to be a Bone Club, I let it go through. Our Earth Power is going to bring the lone Marowak very low, and then we can just kind of farm down with Poison Jab. And I do make a great call here and actually catch the Bone Club, and just, yeah, this is just GG, because at this point we can pretty much just farm down and throw the Poison Fang, and that is just the game. So GG game 1 here. So let's see. Yeah, I'm still ace currently. I need to figure out a way to get out of this and actually start climbing. So in this matchup we actually are in a mirror, and I'm gonna take the first move, and it ends up being a Shadow Ball, so I'm actually doing the same back, and yeah, it seems like their Golbat might have better IVs than mine because I'm at a lower HP at this point. So I'm just going to spam the Poison Fang, and I'm going to switch to Umbreon knowing that they pretty much have to throw Poison Fang. And I can actually get a farm, almost like a farm down, and they bring in, what was that? Oh, Azumarill. And this is actually kind of insane because I got the defense drop turn 1 with my Psychic, and I spam another Psychic, and then I think I got another defense drop here, and I was like sitting here like, wow, that's insane. So I'm actually gonna shield because I feel like, wow, this is actually really good for me. I might be able to flip this, and I'm gonna actually make a really good call here and catch a play rough on my Nidoqueen. And at this point I can kind of just farm down excuse me, knowing that it was at -2 defense. In comes Runerigus, and we're not going to mess around, we're just going to spam Earth Power, get some nice chip damage. I'm not really afraid of Runerigus when I'm running Umbreon on this line, so I'm just going to throw the Poison Fang, and they're not really keeping track of energy properly, so they end up shielding the Poison Fang. And we know we can take any move here by the Runerigus, so we just let it go through. And I think even here I just let it go through, and I just like kind of farm down. So GG. Alright, in the next battle we do see a Crawdon lead. Now this is very spicy but very cool. Waterfall is going to be chunking a lot. Crawdon actually has a very high attack stat, and if it by chance gets a boost with Night Slash, it will be very scary. So I'm going to actually shield the first move, and obviously they're going to bait with the Night Slash, and crazy enough, they do get the boost. So I'm just going to throw the Poison Fang just so I can get rid of it. So we do win the lead, but at this point, I'm going to throw the Poison Fang on the Runerigus, and they're also not really keeping track of how much energy I have. So fortunately they shield that, and we get a free shield with Poison Fang, and I can just safely bring in Umbreon. And this is really good because the Runerigus is at minus defense, and nothing that it's throwing back at me, I really have the shield to worry about. So I was a little patient thinking that they might try to catch a foul play, and they end up bringing Toxapeck. So I throw the Psychic, do a nice chunk, and this puts the Toxapeck in range of where we can kind of just go straight Earth Powers with our Nidoqueen. We know we can take one brine to the face, and they end up thinking we're going to bait, and we just knock it out completely. So at this point, we're in a pretty good scenario because we don't really need to shield. I'm just going to throw the Poison Fang because why not? It lowers the defense at least. And yeah, it doesn't really matter though because there's nothing really Rodriguez can do here. And all we have to do is throw 2 foul plays. And the defense drop doesn't actually matter here. I mean, I probably could just farm down, realistically, at this point, I guess. But I already have enough energy for 2 foul plays. So yeah, the defense drop doesn't actually matter, because we end up doing that regardless. Alright, GG. So in this next match, we end up getting Shadow Scizor, actually another very frightening Pokemon, I feel like, to deal with, especially if it gets the boost from the Night Slashes. So we're going to let this go through, and they end up switching out and bringing in Sableye. I was patient, and I had to go straight for Shadow Ball. So now I'm going to bring in Umbreon in on Sableye, and knowing that they're most likely just going to go straight return, I'm going to shield at least the very first return. That way I can know for sure I like block a decent amount of damage from this Sableye. And now I can kind of safely just throw these foul plays, and at this point I can like put it low enough where I can kind of farm down and save energy for Scizor when it comes back in. So we're just going to let this next return go through, but they end up just... Maybe they think I was going to throw another foul play, they end up just throwing their foul play. So they just go double foul play here, which really puts me in a more advantageous position. Because I knew safely I could farm down here. And in comes Scizor, and I'm just going to throw a foul play right off the bat. And this should knock it out, or get it close. But actually I don't think that knocks out, I think it just gets it close. But they end up shielding and switching out. And we do get the shields down, and chunk a bit of damage with Psychic. So now I'm going to bring in my Nidoqueen, and I know I can take a brine. I'm going to build up a little bit of extra energy, and then I'm going to throw the Earth Power to remove this Toxapeck. And then in comes the Scizor, and I could have gone for the Earth Power here. I'm trying to think, like... I think I just thought it didn't really matter. Like, I could just kind of bait out the... As long as I didn't get the attack boost, I was in a good situation. So I got the defense drop, and I was trying to, like... I think I was trying to bait out the X-Scissor here, because I knew they couldn't throw Night Slash, and I was just barely getting off the Poison Fang, which fortunately, just because of how much the defense has dropped in the HP scenario, even though it's resisted, the poison damage isn't enough. So GG. Pretty intense battle. Rodriguez is here, and yeah, honestly, I really did. This has been a lot of fun, this team. This person, though, was assuming I was going to try to bait and get really ahead, but I just went straight Shadow Ball, and I don't think they liked that outcome, so they ended up just top lefting. So this is actually a 5-0. So GG's to that trainer. And I have another set of battles I'm going to share here real quick of this team. Alright, so in this one, we do see a Crustle lead. So this is not really good for Golbat, but I'm going to actually stay in and try to go a straight Shadow Ball, knowing that I can actually outpace to the Shadow Ball. And they do respect the Golbat, and I'm going to bring in Nidoqueen on the switch. And they end up staying in with Crustle and throwing it X-Scissor. I'm not sure what they were thinking when they did that. I think switching out with energy might have been more advantageous for them. But in comes Golbat, and I'm just going to start throwing Poison Fangs. And it was clear to me they weren't really trying to go for the Shadow Ball here based on when they threw this move. So I really didn't need to shield it, and they're just going to spam another Poison Fang, I think, right upon getting it. And I know I can live one more because I resist it. So I'm just going to not shield it all and throw another Poison Fang right back at this Golbat. Then I'm going to switch into Umbreon, knowing that the only thing that this Golbat can really do is spam Poison Fangs at me. And I'm just going to farm it down for energy. And we do have shield advantage. And even though Crustle is coming in and, you know, is a bug type against a dark, I will be able to just kill this with 2 foul plays. And I'm going to build a little bit of extra energy first, since I know that we can like take advantage of this scenario. Now we remove it entirely, and in comes Nidoqueen. I have Psychic loaded, throw the Psychic, and gonna bring in Golbat here. And this is looking really good. We're gonna just let it go through. And I can even get off a Poison Fang myself, which is even better. Just kind of like chip away even more damage. And I can just bring back in Umbreon. And I can safely just kind of like shield this, go for the foul play, and that's game. So GG here, another battle. I will admit that this team definitely struggles with people that run Toxicroak in the backline. Kind of a difficult Pokemon if we're not careful and we preserve Golbat properly. So in this match they have Escavalier, and they switch into the Yellow and Eradicate. Very interesting team. Very different from everything else we've been seeing. But I'm going to stay in with Golbat and take one move at least, and then now I'm going to bring in Nidoqueen. I'm going to take a move here as well and just try to like farm down. I don't think I can actually get a real farm down. So I'm going to have to throw this Poison Fang, but I did want to at least like build up a little bit of energy. In comes this Cavalier, and we're going to just go straight Earth Power. They might want to respect the Earth Power, so they do end up shielding. But it is a little difficult because they are in a scenario where... I guess this is interesting that they just throw the move. When they pretty much could have just farmed me down, but maybe they didn't want to get hit by a Poison Fang and get their defense dropped. I'm not entirely sure what their reasoning was. Or maybe they just knew because they had this Crustle in the back. But Umbreon is pretty decent here. I mean, Crustle's good, but it doesn't do too good at like... It can't handle the Umbreon really. The bulk of the Umbreon is just too powerful here. And also having shield advantage, I can just kind of like get the respect I need here. And I know I can take an X-Scissor to the face, so I'm just going to let one go through. And at this point, I'm just going to go for a straight farm down. And I think I just let this go through, and I actually barely live, which is pretty clutch, honestly. I maybe should have just thrown the foul play there, but it's kind of interesting how it actually ends up playing out. Because at this point, I can just kind of commit the shield on Golbat and farm down Escavalier, and we can just Poison Fang Crustle to knock it out. So we didn't really need... I mean, it would have been nice to just throw the foul play, I guess, but still really nice here, the way it ended. But, okay, so we get Ozumero lead. This is definitely a pretty solid lead. Just gonna go straight Poison Fang so we can maximize that HP we're taking away from this Ozu with our wing attacks. And I think I'm gonna shield the first move. And it ends up being a Hydro Pump, which is pretty insane. It must be Play Rough Hydro Pump, and yeah, they're probably not gonna shield us. So here I decide, even though they know this is gonna be a Poison Fang, I'm okay with that. I'm just throwing it because it will make the Umbreon matchup a little bit faster and give me more of an opportunity to potentially like farm this. And I know this looks crazy because I just committed both my shields and they have 2 shields. And look, they're not even like trying to take advantage of this scenario, which they're not even trying to win switch thinking like, okay, they're up 2 shields and they want to bring in their Ozu, but they end up having a low Ninetales, okay? So we're kind of like tricking our opponent at this point. So I actually end up switching in Golbat, making sure that they throw their Weather Ball. And they're in a range now where we can kind of bring in Nidoqueen, and the Ozumero's too low to do anything to Nidoqueen. And they can't really do anything here too, so they switch out in hopes I throw the move. And yeah, we can just... It's pretty insane here actually, because they are kind of close to a Weather Ball, but because of this, I actually just throw both Poison Fangs, knowing that I can tank at least the Weather Ball, and it'll still like be okay. Because even if like the Nidoqueen did die to Weather Ball in that scenario, Golbat could have won at that point. GG. Alright, so we get a Mawile lead. And it does look like they're running Fairy Wind on their Mawile in this battle. So it's more likely just going to be straight Iron Head, and we do take it. And I'm going to throw a Shadow Ball right back, and we're going to see if they respect the Golbat. They do not respect it. So at this point, we're going to have to commit one shield and at least get a farm down on Mawile. In comes there, is that Drapion, I think it was? I'm going to throw the Poison Fang just to kind of like get some chip damage and lower its defense, and we're going to safe swap into Umbreon. They end up being a Fell Stinger Crunch Drapion. That's what it seems, because they just end up spamming Fell Stinger this entire matchup, which is very interesting, but I feel like it puts us in a better scenario to kind of like flip this matchup or put pressure on them. Because now they're just kind of like, I mean, they are like racking up a lot of attack, I will admit, because even a Crunch at this point is kind of scary. I think they do throw the Crunch here and it does knock out. But we did kind of do justice on, you know, getting shields and such. So now we're just going to bring Golbat. I'm just going to throw the Poison Fang right as I get it, because I just want to remove the Drapion and see if they shield or not. It's kind of scary, but looking pretty decent, because we do have Nidoqueen versus a lone Marowak, and the Marowak has to respect the Nidoqueen. I guess baiting here could have been really nice just because, but I'm going to make a really risky call, and I'm going to just not shield. And I'm like, oh shit, did I mess up this battle? And I'm sitting here like, wow. But the crazy thing about this is that the Poison Fang from my Golbat is actually going to be enough damage to knock this out. I was like, I was shocked in a way, like, that I was able to win this battle the way I did. Like, I was like, wow. Insane. Okay, so in this battle, we get an Umbreon lead. Probably not the best lead. Really depends as well. I mean, I think it's just not good, but if it has Psychic, it's also pretty dangerous. So I'm just going to let the first move go through. It is a foul play. We are just going to try to lower the defense and rack up as much damage here as we possibly can. And so far it's doing okay. But Golbat, I feel like, is very valuable on the team, and sometimes we get kind of caught up in these scenarios. Like here, I'm actually like, I probably could have brought in Umbreon or Nidoqueen, and it would have been better. But I ended up just kind of like demanding respect with the Shadow Ball. But now we come in with Umbreon, we're going to shield at least one Sludge Wave, we're going to straight Psychic. It does do a decent chunk, and we're just going to let the next Sludge Wave slip on through. Now we're going to, I think, build up. Okay, they end up switching an Umbreon here, which is like super good for them. I should have been more patient. This is actually a super good catch also. A little bit of a misplay on my end to like let that, like allow that to happen like that. That was pretty bad. But I'm going to bring in my Nidoqueen now, and we're going to try our best to just like farm down. But the thing is, they're going to be able to get off 2 foul plays here. And yeah, we don't really know if we can win this matchup at this point. We don't really know what's in the back just yet. So we see the Toxapeck. We're just going to go straight Earth Power. And they end up shielding, which is a good call on their end. And I'm going to commit a shield myself here against Toxapeck. We are able to knock it out now with the Earth Power. But now there's a Fortress, and I don't know if that was the right call to switch out the way I did. I don't know if I could. I feel like maybe I could have gotten to the. I don't know if I could have got to the Earth Power. I don't think I can. I think I'm too low of health on Nidoqueen. But you can kind of tell how there's just like little errors in this battle that added up, because now we're just in a scenario where I just barely can't throw Earth Power on Fortress, and that's kind of brutal. But GG's to that trainer for sure. Well played. But yeah, I just want to share some of these battles because it's been a minute since I've really posted a video like this on my YouTube channel. Just on a side note, I did do my first live stream here on YouTube recently, and I am considering on doing more of that. If you were there, did you enjoy it, or do you want to see more content like that here on this channel? Just let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, the Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. You have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. I'll catch you in the next one.